Hi everyone, this is Tony Huang and welcome to another episode of Chatting with God Friends. This show is being broadcasted primarily on LinkedIn, showcasing innovative trends, subject matter expertise, and things that you may just want to know from a friend. With me today is Zach Hughes, and he has a Zach on Leadership blog. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about some of the items that you want to share with the audience.
Sure, absolutely. So about a little less than 2 years ago, I started a blog called Zach on Leadership. My goal for that blog was simply to be an encouragement to other technology leaders, upcoming technology leaders within the IT community. I think there's a lot. I came up through the ranks as an engineer, and a lot of others have as well. But I think it's intimidating for folks to be able to crack that ceiling above them, where they think, well, I'm just an engineer. I'm just a software developer. This whole management thing is just not really my thing. Either it's undesirable or it's unachievable. And I really think both those things can be dealt with. So if I like to find people that have kind of a strong motivation, and then through the blog kind of teach them some things that they need to know in order to be a leader. Because what it takes to be a great engineer is not necessarily what it takes to be a leader. There are some parallels, things that can be related, but it's a whole new skill set, and I like to help people build that. So being a leader is one thing, developing leaders is a whole other thing, and that's kind of my focus.
I really like how in your blogs you actually break things down, so the 5 steps or 3 steps that you should do. Let's talk about some of the latest blogs that you actually posted.
Sure. Yeah, I did a recent one on how to kind of build an innovation culture. So you talk about building innovation within your company, and how do you go about doing that? I wrote a blog about that. I think people think ideas have to come from either like an R&D department, or maybe the smart people at the top come up with all the ideas, and all the workers just kind of carry that out. I believe great ideas can come from anywhere, but you need to kind of form an organization around how to solicit that and make that making mistakes and bringing innovations forward part of the culture. So I wrote a blog about that.
So what are some of the comments that people are sharing? Are they finding it useful that what you're sharing?
Yeah, I get, sometimes it's crickets, I'll be honest. Sometimes I'll write something I feel is amazing, and just like, no one reads it. that's life as a blogger. But oftentimes, no, I get a lot of great commentary. People really seem to engage in the subject matter. I think one of the reasons is, I tell a lot of stories, and a lot of those stories, even though they're my own, they're highly relatable to others. Folks can say, oh yeah, I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced something similar, and then people want to kind of chime in that way. So I tell stories in the blogs in a way that kind of gets people engaged and say, oh yeah, me too, and this is what I learned, and this is how I found. So there's a lot of people sharing anecdotes on the threads, which is fun. What makes it unique is the context. There's nuances about being a technology leader that I draw upon and talk about, and it's also I like to get IT people, we're geeks. We like to talk about science fiction, and I like to draw on those sort of things, those lessons to kind of bring out newer ideas. So. For instance, I've written blogs about leadership lessons from Star Wars, or like Aliens, or like kind of classic 80s sci-fi. One of my favorites, Back to the Future. I like to write about things from like The Matrix and others. So there's the kind of, if you like science fiction, that's something that I look to as a source for inspiration in leadership. Just a couple weeks ago, I wrote about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So. Total sci-fi nerd show or book if you've read it, but it has actually quite a bit of lessons that we can apply to technology leadership.
Okay. So before we go, there was one session, I think, meeting that you held where you dressed up as Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Yes.
Can you tell us about why you did that?
Yeah, I can. So I'm a leader of a large group in enterprise technology. By definition, just my position and title alone, sets a barrier between me and my folks. And I could put on the fancy suit and kind of present myself in a real kind of formal way. But that just kind of reminds people of that kind of us and them mentality. So just to make it a little more fun, to make it so I'm not taking myself so seriously, I put on a Star Trek uniform and conducted a department meeting. If not just in uniform, but in character as Jean-Luc Picard, and had like my slide decks all kind of stylized in the Next Generation kind of screens, like the terminal screens. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
And I had people laughing, had people engaged, and it was a memorable meeting that would have been otherwise just kind of a typical agenda, but it kind of made it special. So if I put the effort in and people are engaged, it's kind of a fun experience for everyone. Yeah, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. That's probably one of the easiest ways. But I do have a website, zachonleadership.com. You can go to that website and you can subscribe and be one of my subscribers. Those are the best ways to get in touch with me.
Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you, Zach, for being part of our show. I hope you were able to learn something new and positive. Again, this is Tony Huang on Chatting with God Friends. See you next time.
Thanks, Tony.